Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gamansing. In our top story, in 2017, monthly Social Security and supplemental security income benefits have been increased by 0.3%. The 0.3% cost of living adjustment is making benefits payable to more than 60 million Social Security beneficiaries since January. Included are Virgin Islands Human Services employees. However, the employees reached out to a member of the 32nd Legislature to address wrongful taxation on their paychecks. News 2 Stephanie Brown reports.
Senator Alicia Hansen released statements informing that employees of Human Services called on her in an effort to gain some clarity on the cost of living adjustments made on their paychecks that was made available through federal funding. The cost of living adjustments, also known as COLA, increases a person's Social Security retirement benefits. Some employment contracts, pension, and Social Security benefits can be tied to cost of living. Cost of living calculations are used to compare the cost of maintaining a certain standard of living in different geographic areas. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics computes a consumer price index which measures price levels on goods. However, according to statements from Hansen, the Human Services employees were being taxed. Further into Hansen's written statements, the senator explained that the employees noticed a visible increase on their paychecks. And after further scrutiny, employees became concerned that the federal COLA monies were being taxed as retroactive monies. The document disclosed that Commissioner Blyden of the Virgin Islands Department of Human Services and the senator spoke on the matter, and Blyden informed the senator that the issue would be addressed. For News 2, I'm Stephanie Shalana Brown.
Now, in written statements, Senator Hansen explained that she had initially brought the issue of the lack of COLA payments to the forefront when Human Services employees informed her about the federal funds in April of 2017. Well, the Committee on Health, Hospital, and Human Services, chaired by Senator Narida Rivera O'Reilly, held a meeting at the Capitol building on Thursday to receive testimony on the Virgin Islands Department of Health and health-related boards. Some of the major issues plaguing the various medical boards are the lack of consistent meeting place, the need for appropriated funds to purchase meals during prolonged board meetings, to obtain a copy of the law as it pertains to the prospective medical field, and not having full complement of board members and/or members serving with expired terms. Lawmakers also considered the consolidation of personnel and resources of the health-related boards to help them meet mandates. Senators also offered recommendations that will improve the boards. Separately, Commissioner Davis gave an update on the Maternal and Child Health with Special Needs Program, the MCH, the Mental Health Program, and Substance Abuse Program. Senator Kurt Violet, chairman of the Senate Finance Committee, on Tuesday announced that the budget review process will begin July 26 with an overview, but he acknowledged that they still need a budget. Now, under Virgin Islands law, the governor is required to submit a budget for the coming fiscal year by the end of May, but Governor Kenneth Mapp delayed, saying because of ongoing fiscal problems, he needed more time to get a clear picture of the territory's finances. Mapp said he expected to present a budget proposal by the end of June. Although the proposed budget has not been received by the Office of the Governor, senators say that we expect it will be delivered by the end of the week, Violet wrote in his statement. The budget hearings are expected to run through the end of September. The new fiscal year begins on October 1st. By law, the governor is supposed to provide the legislature with the budget by the end of May. Be sure to count on 2 to keep you updated. Bureau of Economic Research says the number of cruise ship calls to the territory dropped in April, May, and June by 21.7% when compared to 2016, from 106 to 83. Now, this is just one of the topics discussed. The Charlotte Amalie Cruise Task Force and the Florida Caribbean Cruise Association, they met during a town hall meeting open to the public this afternoon at Marriott's Frenchman's Reef Resort. The Cruise Task Force comprises representatives from the private sector, including retail stores, ground transportation operators, spirits distributors, and restaurants. Reps from the Virgin Islands Port Authority, West Indian Company, Department of Tourism, Department of Property and Procurement, Department of Public Works, Office of the Governor, and members of the VI legislature. The town hall meeting brings an open discussion about the cruise industry and enhancing the visitor experience. Be sure we'll have more from that meeting on News 2 tomorrow. Well, Senate President Myron Jackson on Wednesday encouraged concerned residents to attend a public meeting to discuss the sudden reorganization and name change of the Virgin Islands National Park. The meeting, organized by the Virgin Islands Unity Day Group, that will include reps from the National Park Service to provide information on how the changes will affect the territory. He said the possible change of name of the Virgin Islands National Park to the Caribbean National Parks and news that superintendents will be located in Puerto Rico is unacceptable in this day and age. He said he requested that Delegate to Congress Stacey Plaskett call public hearings in the VI to address the concerns on the decision by federal officials. Meanwhile, Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett released the following statement. She said, "I have been very disappointed by the disinformation circulated concerning the national park. There will be no changes to the park's names or legal authorities. The superintendents of each Caribbean park, St. Croix, St. John, and San Juan, will now report to a group superintendent stationed in the Caribbean. I understand this adjustment will push decision-making closer to the field. We have received numerous reports from residents, that national park employees and other stakeholders concerning the relationship with the Virgin Islands National Park System and its community. We are supportive of the changes which bring accountability closer to the people of the Virgin Islands." She goes on to say, "It is my understanding that recent management review of all national parks in the Caribbean was completed in 2017. The review team found that each of the parks could be run more efficiently by sharing resources and expertise. I further understand that the decision to realign was based on feedback received from management, employees, and stakeholders at each park during the review. This change realigns the reporting structure of the three park managers. Three park managers located at St. Croix, St. John, and San Juan now report to the Caribbean Parks superintendent." She said, "It is my understanding that one of the Virgin Islands park managers was first offered the position and declined, and as the second person offered was the San Juan manager. The San Juan park manager position is currently vacant. The three park managers will report to a Caribbean park superintendent, and that superintendent reports to the regional director. The realignment mirrors similar models in the National Park Service, like the Outer Bank groups and the National Parks of New York Harbor." She said, "I understand that the community has asked the new Caribbean Park Superintendent to meet with the community on St. John. Because of information which has been circulated in the community, I have asked the Southeast Regional Director to come and speak directly to the community about this and other issues concerning the parks. And I have asked that he ensure the attendance of all the park managers and superintendent as Congress recesses on July 28. I intend to be at the meeting, which we have agreed to take place on August 3rd on St. John, and ask all local stakeholders and the press to be there." Well, it is blunt talk, even from a president known for speaking his mind in a 50-minute interview with the New York Times. President Donald Trump scolds Attorney General Jeff Sessions for recusing himself from the Russia investigation, calling the move extremely unfair to the president. The recusal came after the media learned that Sessions had met with a Russian ambassador during the Trump campaign and then not disclosed those meetings on his application for security clearance. When asked about the president's remarks today, Sessions simply pledged to continue doing his job. Another man in Trump's crosshairs is special counsel Robert Mueller, now head of the Russia investigation. Trump tells Mueller not to go too far. The president insisted in his Times interview he has no business ties to Russia, except for holding the Miss Universe pageant in Moscow in 2013. Millions of people continue to stream, taking a look at the eye on the economy, continue to stream to Netflix thanks to its ambitious lineup of original shows like House of Cards and Orange is the New Black. Monday, Netflix announced it added more than 5 million subscribers in the latest quarter, bringing its total base to about 104 million. The strong growth beat Netflix's own estimates. The vast majority of new subscribers came from its overseas markets. In fact, for the first time, Netflix's international subscriber base is now larger than its U.S. base. Looking at numbers, we can see the Dow down 28, NASDAQ up 104. S&P 500 also up. Coming up on News 2, the Virgin Islands Energy Office, they're holding some energy conservation operations and maintenance training for government and building industry professionals. Hear more of what these trainings are about. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The Virgin Islands Energy Office held a two-day energy conservation and maintenance training for government and building industry professionals that occurred in both districts. After training, participants will be able to demonstrate an understanding of the performance of whole building energy assessments and the ability to develop energy efficiency solutions. A participant of the training spoke further.
What we're trying to do actually here with this training is to present an overview of best energy practices for government and commercial building. The whole concept is the awareness that energy efficiency in government buildings can reduce the cost of electricity. And that has a lot to do with your positive and your negatives in a building. For example, you can have a positive airflow is when the air is flowing out of the building in the designated area, and actually a negative is when air is coming into the building when it's not required to come in the building. Okay, so in the territory, we are fortunate because we can build to keep that negative pressure out. And that's most of the problems that we have here. We have actually air coming into the building. And so this class teaches us how to rectify that situation. And basically, that's all it's about, making your building more efficient.
Well, from June 26 to July 28, the 5-week Agriculture Enrichment Summer Camp at the UVI Cooperative Extension Service, they're teaching students about the importance of agriculture in many fun ways. The program was designed for children ages 14 to 17 to help them understand the importance of the agriculture industry and how they impact us. Here's more.
I teach them the different techniques in agriculture, and show them how to plant, they do weeding, they learn about the box garden, irrigation systems, terracing, the different type of fruit trees that we have in the garden. And so far, they've been loving it.
What we have done for the past 4 weeks is to introduce them to all aspects of agricultural science and, of course, the related career opportunities. But just as importantly, we have also shared with them some very, very important life skills that are transferable no matter what field of life they may seek to pursue. And the activities have included many hands-on demonstrations. As today, for example, today was a day where we invited the Custom and Border Protection Agency of Homeland Security, and they shared with them their mission, of course, and what they do to protect agriculture. And then the most exciting time for the campus, perhaps, was the K9 demonstration, how the K9 are used to do the work of the Homeland Security.
Great project there. Now here's something else that's going on for the summer. The VI Department of Education, in partnership with the Office of the Governor, launched the 9th annual Governor's Summer Reading Challenge with pep rallies held at schools across the territory. That's last month. Here's the details.
When the trees come alive, the morning sun bursts into the sky.
There is a challenge going on.
Things. In return, all the trees and I stretch out to greet its loving sunlight.
A reading challenge.
Float in the air as I lace my shoes to set my
This challenge, underway, runs until September 22nd.
Go run, jump, and play with your friends.
The annual activity challenges students in grades kindergarten to 6th to read 5 or more books during the summer months. Included in their summer reading packets, students in the public, private, and parochial schools received 2 books, tracking sheets, and a letter containing an inspiring message from Governor Kenneth Mapp.
This summer, I challenge all students, kindergarten to 6th grade, to read 5 or more books. So are you up for the challenge?
Last month, the reading challenge kicked off at various schools, including Lockhart Elementary on St. Thomas.
We decided to hang out with Lockhart Elementary today because Lockhart is the school in the district that read the most books for the 8th annual Governor's Summer Reading Challenge, and that was last year. So we're hanging out with them today, and they're excited about reading, and we look forward to them, you know, seeing if they'll be winners again.
Rick Grant, author of When I Grow Up, one of the books featured in this year's reading challenge, read an excerpt of his book to students.
I like writing, and one night I was sitting at home, and a thought came to me, when I grow up. And I literally took my phone, my cell phone, and started to write the book in my cell phone. That's all that happened. So I have another one that's called Where I Live, and it talks about various places in the world where people live. So an apartment, people live in an apartment, they live in Antarctica, and that's gonna come next year. And then there's another one called Directions, which tells you to go up, down, around, about, over, and under. So if you like writing, take a piece of paper and just write what comes to your mind.
An appearance was also made by the sea turtle character.
Mr. Turtle is actually one of the characters in this book, and it's called Sea Turtles of the Virgin Islands. And it says Caribbean Natural History Series. All of the books and all of the artists or the illustrators for the books, they're all either from the Virgin Islands or from the Caribbean. And for more information, you can log on to read5.org. You can find your tracking sheets. Parents can get more information about the reading challenge. You can learn more about our books. And again, the reading challenge is from June 12th to September 22nd. So you want to make sure you read and track your books. Don't forget, read and track your books. And then on September 22nd, that's when you turn your books in. When you come back to school after the summer, you turn your tracking sheets in. And that's how we know who read and who we'll be inviting to the big celebration. All right, everybody? So what we're going to do this summer, how many books we're going to read? Read 5 this summer.
Oh, be sure to read 5. Now, a historic tour took place on St. Croix, one that officials are calling historic, and here's more on why.
We want to tell the story of Hamilton's youth while he was here on St. Croix and his people, information about his mother and his brother and his father and the times, what it was like on St. Croix when he arrived here as a young boy.
The most important thing that I find is I'm finding many of the people that come to see this tour are already educated about Alexander Hamilton. They already know about who he was and the part that he plays in the legislature up in the United States and being part of the Constitution, being one of the founding fathers. So they come with this, that many of them have already seen the play. Pick many people here to tell history about because it has impacted the world. This is world history. I'm not just talking about the 7 flags that flew here. I'm not talking about the individuals that wind up here, the Africans, the architects. I'm talking about these individuals is huge. And so Alexander Hamilton plays a part in that because he becomes an abolitionist in the United States. And so when you tell this story, when you come and find out about who he was here, you understand who he becomes in the United States.
Be sure to check out that tour. And speaking of walking, don't forget the Family Fitness Walk that's coming up this weekend. That, in addition to the event at Tutu Park Mall, be sure to head out for the Lifestyles event. Be tested, learn how to cook healthy with many demonstrations and exercise information, displays, and more. Here's more.
We're here once again to see you all come out. We're going to do some screenings for cholesterol, for diabetes. We have HIV testing. We're also going to have a chiropractor. We have 2 chiropractors, in fact, and we have some physicians that are going to do consultations. We have pharmacists. We're also going to do some education. So we want you to come out. We'll be talking about hypertension and diabetes and stress and just overall wellness and health. Obesity is one of the biggest issues we have, and we really want to talk about it.
This is something I do for the community because I believe in living a healthy lifestyle, and that's what we want for the Virgin Islands community. You gotta know if you're healthy, and if you're gonna live life, you want to live a healthy lifestyle.
But we want you to walk with us so that, you know, at 2 o'clock we're gonna walk from one end of Megan's Bay and back. It's a healthy, nice walk. People do it all the time. It won't kill you. It will make you stronger. So come out with us, all right? On Sunday, join our family for the Family Fitness Walk dedicated to the memory of my brother Raw for sure.
Add that on the calendar as well. Stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.
We're seeing some pretty dry weather here. We're under this big patch of dry yet dusty air, so I'm sure the sunset last night was gorgeous. Should be again tonight, so if you can catch it, just grab a glass of wine or maybe a glass of water and take a look at the sunset tonight. Taking a look at what's going on right now, we don't see much, maybe just a stray trade wind shower for some people, but it's going to be mainly dry here for the next couple of days. 79 degrees tonight for our low, partly cloudy skies, and we could see just a brief trade wind shower pretty much on any of the islands here tomorrow. So 89 degrees, mainly partly sunny in St. John. St. Thomas, same story, partly sunny, again with just a very brief trade wind shower potentially. St. Croix, 90 degrees with partial sunshine there. Taking a look at our marine forecast, well, it is improved. We were under an advisory the last 2 days. That advisory is gone. It has lifted. So in the Atlantic, waves 4 to 6 feet. Winds out of the east 10 to 15 knots. If you're out there, just make sure you are enjoying yourself, being careful, of course. The Caribbean, same story, 4 to 6 feet for our waves. Winds out of the east 10 to 15 knots, and we no longer have an advisory to tell you about. We are going to see an uptick of some showers here Saturday. We could see 1 or 2 across the islands as a tropical wave is moving through. It's going to be pretty weak, though, so we aren't really going to see a lot coming out of that. Just, you know, another shower potentially to add on the list. Mainly a beach day, though. Lots of sunshine. On Sunday, a shower or 2 is possible as well. 89 degrees. And then on Monday, a shower in spots, meaning it's going to be a lot drier, but of course, a trade wind shower could push through at any time. 89 degrees. And then Tuesday, a shower in spots again. So if you're here for the beach this week, you certainly picked a fantastic time to be here. Sandy, back to you.
Okay, that's good news because that's what some people are planning to do, and probably Mikal Francis of Great Minds Summer Learning Academy showing some sunshine and clouds and nice greenery. Mikal, thank you for that, Mikai. Send us your News 2 weather picture to the address on the screen and then tune in to see it right here on News 2. News 2 Sports is coming up next.
I'm Gary Anthony, and this is News 2 Sports. O.J. Simpson was a college All-American, a Heisman Trophy winner, the first running back in NFL history to rush for 2,000 yards in a single season. He was elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He was arguably the greatest running back of his generation. O.J. was a pitchman for Hertz Rent-A-Car and a movie star, appearing in the Naked Gun movie franchise. Currently, he's better known for standing trial and being acquitted in the trial of the century, the murder of his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ronald Goldman. Today, O.J. Simpson sat before a parole board in Lovelock, Nevada, after serving nearly 9 years in a Nevada state prison for robbery and kidnapping charges stemming from a confrontation in a casino hotel room in September 2007, in which he and 5 other people departed with hundreds of items of sports memorabilia. After deliberating for less than 1 hour, Simpson was granted parole and will be released from prison in October of 2017.
Mr. Simpson, I do vote to grant parole when eligible, and that will conclude this hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So goes the continuing saga of the man once called the Juice, who electrified fans on the gridiron with his speed and power. It's never too late to talk government co-ed basketball hoops. Monday night's games went as follows. In Game 1, it was delivery communication over ICMC 38-31. Game 2, Hospital beats Airport TPM 57-46. And in Game 3, Airport 2 soared over Marriott 64-47. Tuesday's games went like this. Game 1, it was Ritz-Carlton over National Guard 54-49. Game 2 saw Waco beat ICMC by 20, 52-32. And in Game 3, Red Hook beats Marriott in a low-scoring affair, 48-29. In St. Croix Friday night, there will be 2 great sports-themed events. The Thorville McIntosh and Gerard Alfonso Hall Sports Award Committee presents its 5th annual Sports Award Banquet at 7 p.m. at the D.C. Cannegator Recreational Center and Sports Complex. And also on Friday night, the Rakeem Christmas Foundation Block Party is at the Hotel Caravelle on the boardwalk. That fun starts at 6. That's 2 great events in one night, less than 1 mile apart. To paraphrase the late, great Ernie Banks, let's do 2. That's it for sports. Sandy, back to you.
Thanks for the highlights, Gary, and thanks for the update on O.J. Simpson. Many had their eyes glued to the television. Also, big thanks to UVI Camp for having us visit today. And we'd like to thank you for joining us for all the latest in news, weather, and sports. We'll see you next time.
We are TV2! Yeah! Yeah!